Welcome again, guys. Another session, another very interesting podcast for family businesses. We are honored today to have Shiv Khemka from the Sun Group. Yes, the Sun Group, one of the biggest in the world. Truly appreciate your time here, Mr. Shiv, and I expect a lot of interesting stories. Should we start with the history of the family and how did it come to be what it is today?
Thank you. Great to be here, Adil. What a pleasure. And the history of our family, there are many Sun groups. We always say we're the one you've never heard about.
Okay.
So we started 125 years ago in grain trading and minerals trading. And that business then became a iron ore and manganese ore business, owning mines and exporting iron ore and manganese ore. And then in the mid to late 50s, the government rules changed and all the iron ore exports got canalized and everything had to be exported through government agencies, which effectively meant we lost the business. And we had to start again. And the family started again. There were 7 brothers and my father was the youngest of the 7 brothers. He studied at Columbia Business School, did his MBA, went in 1953. And then he moved to Tokyo to run our office in Tokyo in 1955 or 56. And then when the business was basically effectively nationalized, he came back to India and the family was very, perplexed. What do we do next? How do we, because of course they had a little capital, but the business is different. When you lose the business, that's a big blow to the family. And the family said, why don't we sell mining equipment to the mines we used to own? Why don't we start again like that? And so that's how the family restarted the business. Today, the business has 4 divisions. The first is natural resources. So we're in gas production in West Africa, and we're in mining in different parts of the world, in gold mining, copper, and then battery technology metals through various partners. We are in, the second division is clean energy. We are in solar. We are now entering the world of biomass to energy, hydrogen storage, transportation. We're entering EVs. We've built an EV company called Sun Mobility, which is India's leading EV platform for shared mobility using battery swapping as a technology. We are entering the world of microgrids and off-grid power solutions. So we're doing a few different things in that area. The third division is manufacturing for advanced electronics. We have plants in different parts of India making advanced electronics for railways, aerospace, power electronics, different technologies for renewables, solar, and so on. And then we have an investment arm. We have an asset management arm where we helped start some of India's leading venture funds, a fund called Westbridge Capital, which then brought Sequoia to India many years ago. And we helped bring Apollo to India on the real estate side with a company called Sun Apollo, which was a real estate private equity fund. And so we've done a few things like that. So that's really the family.
Amazing.
My father's the chairman. He's 90 years old.
Wow.
And very,
Still active?
still active and
Energetic?
still loves his work and still
Right.
talks about what's the plan for the next 10 years
Okay, amazing.
and 20 years. And my brother and I run the business.
Amazing,
2 of
amazing,
us.
amazing. And how is the family structured, if I may ask?
In every generation, the family effectively decided in the last generation, my father's generation, to divide the family peacefully amongst the different brothers and children. So the business I'm talking about is our branch of the family.
Okay,
And that is myself and my brother, and my father is the chairman.
amazing.
Yeah.
And is there a plan for the next generation in it?
I have 3 daughters, 24, 26, and 27.
Amazing.
And we're very blessed and they're doing very well. And my brother has 3 children, a daughter of who's just about 15 and 2 sons of 11.
Okay,
And so they are a bit younger. My daughters graduated from college in the US.
Okay.
One was at Brown, one went to Yale, one went to Penn. So they all did
Nice.
well. And they've been working a little bit with me, a little bit outside, doing some different things. And, hopefully they'll study a bit more. And then, if they want, they're welcome to come into the business.
okay,
But we don't like to make it a prison.
okay.
We basically say, if you'd like, you're welcome to come back in and be involved and in different ways. But we'd love them to work a little bit outside as well and
Okay.
kind of have a balance. And also, in a way, we're the first generation where girls are coming into
Are
the
allowed to
family
the business,
business.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And so it's an experiment for us to see in what way they want to come in, if they want to come in. And so it's an experiment. We'll see how it goes.
And how does decision making happen in the sense, how would you secure that the family or the wealth stays together and works and is ready to serve the family for the next few decades? I mean, is there a governance structure that you use
Yeah,
to
so
ensure that, or
it's-
is that
yeah.
still friendly, like me, I'll call my brother and we'll decide on things?
Yeah, I would say it's the family, and then we have some external senior advisors and
Okay.
board members, but it's still very collegiate in that sense.
Okay.
I think we don't want to dampen the entrepreneurial enthusiasm
Okay.
of the family.
I get it.
So it needs each of us to have enough space to be entrepreneurial.
Okay.
At the same time, we talk to each other all the time and discuss what we're doing and take each other's opinion, advice, and so on. And obviously, there's some structural rules about what we do, what we don't do. And if we move outside those things, we discuss it, in a formalized way.
Okay. And I keep hearing from different families, this is like a trend that I'm very curious about, is that there usually needs to be this thing that glues the family. It's usually either somebody like this family member that has influence on everyone and everybody with respect, or certain practices like either on governance or annual meetings or gatherings. And so in your opinion, within your family, what is the glue?
Well, we always say the glue is the women.
Okay, interesting.
The women keep us together. And that's very
You know what?
important
This is the
as a
first time
family.
I hear of a case, but that's amazing.
The women are the glue in a way.
Okay.
Of course, the family is very important. We get together often. We think the love between the family is very important. The caring and the togetherness is very important. Business is an outcome.
Okay.
It's not the primary priority.
Okay.
And the family is not secondary.
Okay.
Because then you break the links in a different way. So that's how we look at it. And but obviously, my father, is someone we greatly respect, and he is, been our mentor and our inspiration for my brother and I. And we, look up to him and take his advice and talk to him about what we do. And we have, family meetings regularly. So we meet quite often.
Amazing.
And we twice a year have kind of reasonably long periods of time together as a family. And during those twice a year, one in the summer, one in the winter, we have more discussions about, strategic things or what we're doing or what we see going forward. So that's how we kind of manage.
Where do you see the future of the family and the family office? I mean,
our family, we really are broken into, I would say, the operational side, which we have professional CEOs managing the businesses, and we come in for, I would call, variance type of activity. If we're doing M&A, we're buying a new company, we're doing a new financing, we get involved in things that are not in the normal running of the business.
Okay.
And then we have the investment side, which we see really as a learning tool for us as a family. And that investment side, we've been investing a lot in AI, in new advanced technologies. For example, we've been investing in clean energy, a lot of things to do with clean and green. So I think all those types of things. So the investment side is obviously a great learning situation as well. And then finally, the foundation is very important to us as well. We have a family foundation, which for us gives us meaning and purpose for why we do all this hard work. The purpose is really not just for ourselves, it's really for the foundation. So the foundation does work, and we do positive things, hopefully.
And is that mainly in India, or do you do?
No, we do it all over the world. A lot of it is in India. So we train about 3 million kids a year in a curriculum for ethical leadership. And then we also have a lot of work in entrepreneurship, which is all over the world. We do a lot of work in climate-related advocacy and convenings and so on, which is global. And then we do a lot of work in health, which is mainly India-related. So it depends what we're doing.
Amazing. If I always ask this question, and at times it's difficult. If you have a time machine and you can go back in the history of the family 120 years, what would be the couple of things that you'd like to change?
if there was a time machine, I'll give you 3 very short things that I wish I could change.
Okay.
The first is when my father was at Columbia Business School in the 50s, his best friend was this Eastern European friend, and they used to hang out, go out together all the time. And he said to my father, look, my younger brother is very good at managing money. And my father was 22 and this younger brother was like 18 or 19. And he said, why don't you give him a little bit of money and he'll manage it. He's good at managing money. And my father said, I'm not going to give some 19-year-old some money. And my father's friend's name was Paul Soros.
Okay.
His younger brother's name is George Soros.
Okay.
So father should have given him a little bit of money. We'd all be relaxing on the beach.
Okay, interesting.
The second thing is my father moved to Tokyo, and in Japan he had an office in the post-war period in 1955, and he had this little building which he'd rented. And as he was leaving Japan, when the business got nationalized and so on, the owner of the building said, you can buy the building if you want.
Okay.
And my father said, no, I'm just signing the lease. I'm leaving. And that building today is the headquarters of Mitsui or Mitsubishi in the middle of Tokyo. Second mistake. And my father said it was not expensive. He could have bought it, but at that time, no one thought what would happen.
Yeah. You never know.
And
definitely.
The third thing is, we ended up owning 1% of Amazon in 1997, when it was a small company, $200 million market cap, etc. And very quickly it became a $20 billion market cap, and our capital went up 100 times. And my father was looking at all these numbers, and he said, what is this company that's gone up 100 times? We said, it's a company called Amazon. I said, what does it do? He said, it sells books online. My father said, $20 billion? This is a hype.
Okay.
Please sell it.
Sell it.
So that's my third thing. I wish I could go back in time and have kept that stake, because that stake we calculated recently would be worth something like $13 billion.
Wow.
So that was a big mistake as well. And so the time machine, I wish, if you have a solution, please give me a time machine.
we'll have to develop one, definitely. A word of wisdom.
From the heart, I would say, in a family business, my father always says, a family business that works well is like heaven, and a family business that works badly is like hell. And my father always says, contrary to what people keep saying, put the family first, the family relationships first, not the business first. Because then if the family relationships are good, you'll always work out how the business should be. But if you put the business first and you start fighting amongst yourselves, who gets this, who gets that, then the business will soon suffer, and the family suffer, and everyone suffers. What's the point?
Yeah, I always say that. Yeah. I always say that.
So, family relationships are primary, and then everything else will follow if you, do your best and run it professionally. But family relationships are important.
Many thanks, Mr. Shiv, for your kind time. I truly appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. It was a pleasure.